We're just getting older, world is getting colder. Trying to get sober, Lord help me get stronger. World is on my shoulders.
How you doing today? This is the 12 of 12 podcast, the podcast about real life, recovery, growth and development, redemption, because that's what this is about. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, do us a favor, tap that subscribe button and share for more. Also, we are sponsored by First Step Recovery. If you need any help with severe mental illness, with substance abuse, please don't wait, don't hesitate to contact us today. You see the numbers up top. Make sure you contact them. They'll be happy to help you. We have a special guest today, Ms. Lindsay.
Good morning, how are you?
Hey, doing okay. Well, blessed from the best, never stressed. It's been a long awaited time. We're trying to get together to have this meeting for a long time.
Yeah. Schedules,
4 months.
man, schedules.
4 months, so now we finally able to have her on, bless her with a presence, and introduce yourself to the audience a little bit. Where you from?
Okay, so my name is Lindsay and I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, born and raised. I've always said I don't want to spend my whole life living in the same place, but my roots are here, my friends, my family, my support, everything I've ever known. So I'm very, very rooted in Louisville. I would like to live somewhere else, but so far, only in Louisville.
Only in Louisville?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Well, Fern Creek and Mount Washington too, but it's still...
Oh, Mount Washington?
Yeah.
That's still a Kentucky area?
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had any experience with substance abuse?
Yes, I have. I'm actually in long-term recovery now. I started using, just kind of in a snapshot, I started using, recreationally, like marijuana, smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol at like 13 and 14 years old. And I thought it was just like normal stuff that teenagers do because everyone I spent time with was doing it. So as the years progressed, it got worse and worse and worse. And I had all these boundaries I said I would never cross. And then eventually there was virtually nothing I wouldn't put in my system. So from 13 to 37, I was constantly pretty much using one thing or the other.
That's interesting because it seems like it always starts with something simple, like a cool thing to do, get involved. Mm-hmm. I mean, it started off with marijuana. And I said it before in a lot of our earlier episodes, but but they say that marijuana or alcohol, they say marijuana is a gateway drug. Alcohol is too, I think it is, because a lot of people start off with either one or the other. Not everybody, but a lot of people do, and it's always, what led you to starting to use it at that age? Was it more like a peer pressure, or was it like
It wasn't really peer pressure. Like, I know a lot of, you see like on TV, like peer pressure and then come on. But I never really experienced that part of it, but you also never really had to pressure me. So I was just like, if you were cool and everyone liked you and you were having fun and enjoying yourself, I just was like, okay, cool, what's he doing? But for me, I don't think I have little T traumas, as they say, like didn't get picked for the team, these little things like that are trauma, but not like death and stuff like that. So I don't have a lot of trauma that I can really remember that would start me in that. But for me, I was extremely anxious as a child and can still be. So for me, when I started smoking marijuana and had that first drink and I started to feel my anxiety would subside for that time. And if my anxiety goes away, then I'm comfortable enough to relax and be myself, or so I thought, and I felt part of a group. So for me, and I didn't really feel like I was truly a part of any circle or any group until I got in recovery and met people like me that understood me to where then I could really strip it down to who I really was. So for me, I would say the catalyst was definitely trying to calm my anxiety. Okay. Absolutely.
So it stemmed more from like, with your battle with use and abuse type things of different substances, it came from more like the mental aspect of things. Okay, so now since you overcome, how long have you been sober?
I'll have 8 years October 9th.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
See, sobriety is possible. And one thing I want to ask you, how is it with you having fun being sober? Because a lot of people, man, you know how it is. You get used to being drunk, you get used to being high, going out to clubs, hanging out, and then all of a sudden you don't do this anymore. You stop it, and I was like, what am I supposed to do now? What are some of the things that you do that seems to ease your mind that you can consider fun as being sober fun?
To touch on that before I get into that, I had to really take a look at that. when I got sober, because it is a common thought of, I'm going to be boring, life's going to be boring, what am I going to do without drinking and drugging? But when I really sat and thought about it, when I got in recovery, I didn't have fun anyway. I thought I did, and I acted like I did, but I was dying inside most of the time. I was miserable. I would maybe be at a get-together talking to you or whatever, but the whole time I'm obsessing about what I'm going to get, where I'm going to go, when's the bar closed, do I have any more money? And at the end of the day, I was fooling myself. I wasn't having fun. I just had the illusion that I was having fun. So when I got sober, my first sponsor that I had was a nut. I love her so much. Like, I constantly hear her voice 8 years later in my head. But she was fun, and she was vibrant, and she was bubbly, and she did all these outgoing things and took me along with her. So, and she also introduced me to other people in recovery that had the same mindset. So I was introduced to fun very early on in recovery. And to me, that's one of my biggest missions, if you will, with people new in recovery. I want to show you that it can be fun. Because I didn't get sober to be miserable all the time. I didn't get sober to continue to act like I'm having fun, to act like I'm okay when I'm really not, you know? But when I hear people say, you know, I just don't think I'll ever have fun, it almost makes me want to laugh at them, not like in a bad way, but like, if you only knew. You know, and I've said that, like, if you only knew how much fun I have had in recovery, like, it's like a spiritual feeling when I think about it. Yeah. It's like my heart kind of flutters, you know, like I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude when I think about it, because, I mean, genuine belly laugh over dumb stuff half the time, but it's hilarious, you know, and I think a lot of it is, you know, I'm just so grateful that I'm even here to laugh. Yeah. I'm so grateful that I'm even here to experience people and environments and events, concerts, whatever. It's just, when I got sober, and this is a common thing too, I think all of my senses seemed like they heightened. Yeah. I could hear better. I could see brighter colors. I tasted things differently. I felt that it was just, everything was just like new. You know what I mean? So like concerts, for example, I've been to a lot of concerts since I've been sober, and that's a big one, because people are like concert goers and like, I don't even want to go to a concert. I promise you. You have to put your foot out there, you know, and go to a couple or whatever, but it does get easier, and I remember everything the next morning. Everything I do, I remember. So for me, for fun, to kind of answer your question, this time of year, I come alive. I want to be outside. I want to go to the park. I want to kayak. I want to go hiking. I want to be at the pool if I can. I want to do outdoor stuff, but I go to the gym, which some people are like, that's not fun. I love it. Really.
Hey, I know that's right, because I love going to the gym. I go no less than 5 days a week. Yeah. And it is fun.
Well, you build a community at the gym too, you know, and you're hyping each other up, and you're like, you know, your traps are looking really good. Thanks, man. I mean, seriously, you're encouraging each other, and you're building connections. I mean, there's times I went to the gym and not even hardly hit a weight. Because I get to talking to somebody that I'm cool with, but whatever, that's what I'm supposed to do that day. But yeah, I go to the gym, I do yoga, my husband and I do fun things when we can, we'll travel a little bit, we'll go to concerts, I try to hang out with my girlfriends at least once a week. It's hard, there's 5 of us, and it's hard to get all of us on the same page at the same time, but really I just try to, it's hard for me to be present, because I have ADHD and it's not treated because I don't like the way the medicine makes me feel. So my mind is like fireworks sometimes. So I have to like really be present. So I'm really working on that. But I mean, to be honest, you know, laying with my dog and playing with my dog, playing, you know, Yahtzee or dominoes with my husband, hanging out with my son. There's so many things. And I think for me, there's so many possibilities for fun, because of my headspace today and because of my outlook. I don't dread everything. And I'm not like, well, this is gonna suck. I don't know if it's gonna suck. You know, I'm adventurous. I wanna go here, I wanna go there, I wanna do this, you know. I wanna learn how to play pickleball. Because everybody's like, pickleball, so I wanna learn how to play. You know, I'm like, cool, if it's that much fun, I wanna play. So I think it's really like what is fun? You know what I mean? In general, what does fun mean? And I just try not to put it in a box, and there's just way too many situations and experiences in my sobriety to name that were fun. I mean, there's just been so many.
You're right about that, because, you know, was it really fun what you were doing in the madness? Some people might consider certain things fun, but then it's like, you know what, when you look at it, you're just trying to mask the way you feel. you know, a lot of things you're going through, a lot of inner turmoil you're going through, that you couldn't consider yourself having fun if you were escaping your reality. And that's kind of how I look at it. Like, okay, you had to master where you are naturally to be able to literally just entertain yourself. You had to become a different person, you know, because everybody, when they get sober, it's like you're completely different than how you were before.
So it's almost like it wasn't even you having fun. It was your alter ego drunk version of
what it
you
was.
that was having fun. But your spirit, like you said, the internal you was like dying.
Yeah, dying on the inside. Yeah, it's definitely a turn about it. Demonic to the point that, you know, it takes possession of you, and then you're a completely different person. I personally believe you got a different spirit leading you and guiding you at that time. When you're at that level, you know, and your spirit is fighting that spirit that is, okay, listen, you got something going on that's not even supposed to be here right now.
Yeah.
And then it's leading you to do this and do that.
Which is why spirits are called spirits.
Yeah.
The drinks.
Yeah, you're right.
Hard liquor. That's
you're
why.
Right.
Because they were said long ago to invoke evil spirits.
Yeah, exactly.
They do.
Yeah.
I mean, not all the time. I had fun, and don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I had plenty of good times going to the bar, partying, whatever. I did have some legitimate good times.
You know what? Every time wasn't bad because I definitely had a lot of fun. But then I look at it like, you know what? The times that it got bad, might have been drunk, it got bad. It was like it's like I could go and have fun continuously sober, and it's fun. And I don't gotta worry about me blacking out. I don't gotta worry about me
watching your back.
Yeah, doing something crazy, have something going on, get me in a situation that might get me killed, or doing something to somebody. You know, it's like, you know what, I don't have to worry about this because I'm really in my right mind. So I'm gonna think 20 times before I go into this place, this location, or spend this money, save this money, or do all this other type of stuff that is like, you know, even hook up with somebody. I'm not gonna hook up with this person because what the heck, man, I already know I'm sober. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
It's like I see the real you, so I'm not even gonna sit here and put myself in a position with you. And I know a lot of people in their relationships end up in relationships when they're messed up, and then next thing you know, they're in the most toxic relationship and don't realize, you know what, you're bringing that toxicity into your life.
What is it they say? Water reaches its own level or finds its own level. So basically, I'm going to seek something like me. Yeah. You know, and that's what I did. I had some, I don't know if they were necessarily toxic. They were just pointless and unhealthy and stupid for the most part. Okay. Like a lot of, I mean, honestly.
A waste of time, basically.
They just, and it's like I knew the guys had no potential, most of them, not all of them, but I knew most of them had no potential, and it was like, I didn't feel like I had any potential. I didn't feel like I had anything to offer. So I'm not gonna go seek somebody that does, because then I look worse than I already feel. So I would get locked into these relationships, and sometimes obsessively, just because I didn't want to be alone. And I could say I'm in a relationship, because if I said I'm not in a relationship, then I'm reminded that I'm alone. And if I'm alone, it's because I'm not good enough, and on and on and on and on and on. So a lot of my relationships were just Band-Aids. Really. Until I met my husband. I mean, I don't want to go to that extreme, but I've never had a healthy relationship. Never until I met my husband. But both of us had been sober for a little bit and spent all of that time single and working on ourselves. So when we came together, it wasn't a you complete me, hell no. I'm complete as God wants me to be right now. You're complete as God says you are right now. Let's come together. It's not, I'm not half of a person until I meet you. You know what I mean? So I think that's a really big key to my marriage, honestly, is that two people that were working on healing and working on changing and bettering themselves and their character defects and shortcomings that had been working on them for a couple of years each, we came together healthy. You know, we have a lot to work on, of course, it's a lifelong journey, but we weren't sick. And that, I think that makes a really big difference. And our whole marriage has continued just like that. We're both continuing every single day to make the most of it and to be the best person that we can be. You know, if one of us hurts the other one's feelings, we're very quick to apologize for it. And I just think that makes a big difference. Like you said, when you try to get with somebody and you're sick or they're sick, it's not going to work. And then what is it they say? Two sickies don't make a welly. You know, I mean, it's so true. And, you know, I think that's, it's a big deal. You know, you're always going to judge and perceive the world based on your experiences. And based on your self-perception. So. And
you said a great thing too, because, you know, you said a couple years, You know, sometimes it takes years for you to work on yourself. Sometimes it takes.
I'm still working on myself.
Yeah,
I will be forever.
Like you said, a lifetime thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then you want to work on yourself for years, get yourself situated. It could take years because at the end of the day, you don't want to trauma bond with somebody just because you went through trauma, you just got out of addiction, you just got out of this relationship or whatever, and now this person did the same thing, and now y'all both have trauma from the last one, and then y'all just hop up and like you said, oh, you complete me, I complete you. No, how about, you know what I'm saying, you get completed, God, stand firm on your foundation, get you a good solid foundation, you know, get it so you're not all shaky. You know what I'm saying? And then they're doing the same thing. If they're not all shaky, they got a solid foundation, then y'all could come together and have a clear mind about things. It is not just a bunch of trauma dumping on each other all the time. You remind me of what my ex did, so you got to be the same way this person is, you know, and all that extra activity. You can move better. Everything, it's not always going to be perfect, but at the same time, it can be perfect for you, you know, the way you are, the way they are, then you're compatible because you don't got all this other stuff doing it. You could be two human beings who are healed and continue to heal and actually able to do things better. And
well, and if you still need to be healed, like say you're in addiction or you're not getting any help for yourself at all, you know, you're not even bringing your real authentic self into the relationship. You know, it's like sometimes, I don't know if you ever heard of this or seen this, but like say there's two addicts that are actively using and they're in a long-term relationship, whatever, and one of them gets better and the relationship dissolves because the other one has outgrown. They've gotten their life together, they're healing, and the other one's sitting back here stuck, not ready to do any of that.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's
jealousy comes from, people get jealous because of that too, and angry at the other person. Because I was later in a relationship and the person was just hardcore drunk. I was like, you know what? I don't want to drink no more. I don't want to go to bars anymore. I don't want to go to clubs anymore. And then next thing you know, I became enemy number one, public enemy.
Because the better you get, the worse they feel.
Yeah.
Because every time you improve in something or get better, it highlights that area of their life, and they don't need a constant reminder. They already know. So to them, you're a threat.
Yep.
So when you're in that kind of relationship, you know, or even if it's not that kind of exact dynamic, when you don't heal, I just got through saying I couldn't be myself. You know, so if I can't be myself, then you're not seeing the real me. Yeah. You're seeing the mask.
Yeah.
So if I can't be myself, and I know it's hard to be fully yourself all the time, but if I just cannot be me, if I have to wear a mask all the time, and then I get into a relationship with you with my mask on, you don't even know who the hell you just got in a relationship with.
Yeah, man. You don't know.
And
what
then
you're
like, oh my God, where was this person that I met 6 months ago? Where did she go?
Yeah.
Well, she was there.
Yeah.
She's just taking her mask off, layer by layer by layer. So.
Exactly. And it could go the same way with friendships. You know, you're around these certain type of friends, and the next thing you know, you get sober, or you get your mental right. You're who you're supposed to be. You're who you were born to be. You're moving at your best right now. Then you moved that in a long time, and then all of a sudden, you're talking differently, and they're like, okay, who is this person? Then it could go to the point in the finger of, oh, this person, dang, man, you think you're just better than me now. Oh, dang, man, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear all this preaching now. I don't want to hear all this stuff now no more, man. You were just doing this 6 months ago. You were just doing this a year ago. And then people put it up in your face.
Because you're pointing out that your success or improvement, however you want to look at it, is putting a light on where they need to improve.
Yeah.
The darkness doesn't like the light. Nope. We know that.
And that's why the Bible says, hey, we got to be lights in this dark world. I think that's important to be who. Don't worry about who tries to judge you, who tries to talk about you, what they care about you. It doesn't even matter. I just say, me personally, I say put God first and let God mold you into the person He wants you to be. You know, you don't want to be that angry person no more. You want to be that depressed person no more. You don't want to be that hateful person, vengeful person no more. You know what? Let God mold you into being that loving, caring person, and then you'll be able to do more in society, and you'll reach a lot of people, I think, that way. Tell me a little bit about some of your plans for the future.
So, funny story, super quick. When I first got sober, my sponsor that I was telling you about, I was with her for about a year, and the whole time I had an assignment of writing my goals for the future. I want you to do 6 months, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year. I never did the assignment. What? Never, because I didn't have goals. I did not have goals. Now that first year of sobriety, before I relapsed and went back out, I know today I just wasn't ready. You know, I got what I needed to get out of it, but I ended up going back out. But yeah, and she would constantly, where are your goals? Where are your goals? And I'm like, I'll get on it. And then finally I got honest with her after several months, and I was like, I don't have any goals. And she's like, why don't you have goals? I was like, because I'm not going to reach them anyway. Yeah. Like, what's the point? So I did not set any goals. And they say when you first get sober to look ahead a year or whatever and write down everything that you want for yourself. And if you walk the path and do what you're supposed to do one day at a time, you're going to blow yourself out of the water with how much better your life is going to be than what you just say you want. I want a car. Okay, that ain't shit. What do you really want for yourself, you know? And so my future plans, so I'm very happily married. My husband and I have a really strong, healthy marriage. I love my job. I'm in business development for a treatment center. I get to give back what was given to me and get paid for it. Like, what better gig can you have? I love it. Yep. But honestly, I'm in school. I should have my bachelor's degree next spring. And then after that, like, I want to continue my job. I want to level up, of course, you know, maybe eventually be director of business development somewhere, something like that. But I'm going to be doing this role as long as I can. I just love it that much. But really, more than anything, I want to travel. I want to be able to be situated financially enough to be able to say, hey, let's take a trip to wherever next month and not have to think about the mortgage or the car payment, because it's good. I don't have to be rich. I just want to be comfortable enough to see the world. That is like the best life. And I know there's going to be other things that of course come into my life, and it's not like that's all I want to do, but I want to see culture. I want to see different places. I want to experience different things, because nothing lights me up more. And my husband says this is his favorite part about me, is like, I have like this childlike wonder. Like, I can see, like, I saw a praying mantis one time at the gas station and I lost it. I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like taking pictures and videoing it. And I was just like happy as I could be. And I love having new experiences. Yeah. So my goal, my future plans are, you know, we want to build a house eventually. Just something kind of on the smaller side, a little bit of land, as many dogs as we can possibly have. You know, continue my marriage, of course, with my husband and to foster that. Continue the work that I do in this field and travel.
Awesome. Yeah. That's great. And it's an important thing to do, definitely. Put your goals down. I think a good thing is to put 5-year goals down, because you got a lifetime of goals right there that could last you a lifetime, and they're good goals.
And the things that I have right now in my life, like, we have a nice apartment. We don't have a big mansion on the hill. You know, I have a car that I love. It's not a Bentley. It's not a brand new anything, but I like it and it's nice. So I'm not talking about material things. The blessings that I have in my life today, my health, my friendship, my cognitive ability to be able to think, my friendships, my marriage with my husband, the impact that I get to have on other people, my connection to God, all of these things where I'm working, that I'm going to school. If you would have asked me 4 or 5 years ago or more, if I would have had any of this, I would have probably told you no. That my goal is just to be able to stay sober and keep working.
Wow.
And that was, you know, a year or so in or whatever, you know. And it's, like I said, they encourage you to think about what you want for yourself this far down the road. And I would have surprised myself immensely by how it actually is today. Wow. And I have peace. Like you said, I don't have to look over my shoulder.
Don't have to.
When that cop is coming for me, it's like, crap, I was speeding.
I'm telling you.
It's not what's in the car. Oh my gosh, what did I do? Do I have a warrant?
I'm telling you, some crazy.
Are my tags expired? Like, because if my tags are expired, they pull me over and then I'm high.
Yep.
Or then I have something on me, or they know who I am already, whatever. I don't have to worry about that no more. I had a lunch and learn yesterday with the Mount Washington City Police Department. Yeah. I used to be terrified of the Mount Washington Police. Yeah. That's where I did all my dirt. That's where the whole time I was in addiction, I lived. Yeah. And I walked in and I said, I feel like I owe some of you amends, but I don't know which ones. I said, I'm not even gonna lie. I said, I'm sure you all have encountered me at some point, and I just wanna offer my amends for anything that I've put you through, any stress or frustration that I've caused you. And it was just a beautiful experience, you know, to be able to sit with the very people that I used to hide from and be absolutely terrified of.
Yeah, that same thing that I've been saying so long to people. Is like, you know what? when you change your life, the people change, who you interact with even changes, you know? Like, I told people, when I went back and I visited back in Orlando, I said, yeah, man, you know, man, I talk to police officers and stuff like, you talk to police? What you mean you talk to police, man? What you got going on, bro?
Yeah.
Like, man, what is, man, I work with different organizations, man. We work with people, man. We trying to better the community and stuff like that. Okay, bro. Yo, man, well, I'll holler at you later then, bro. Next thing you know, yeah, man, bro, down in Kentucky,
Well,
man, messing
before
around with people. I'm like, yo, bro.
And before,
like,
if
what
you're
are you
talking to the police, you're a narc.
Yeah,
Or you're a
it's
snitch, and
crazy. Snitching, all this other activity here. Now it's like, yo, we try to come together and better the community. It's like, before it is, you know what I'm saying? Now the people you surround yourself by, they're on the same thing, so they're really good people in society and trying to better the society and be at peace. That's the key thing, you know, be peace within yourself. And you gotta have that peace within yourself. If you don't have peace within yourself, you got war within yourself. And then with war comes destruction. So it's like,
I like how you said that.
Yeah, so yeah, that,
What?
I said that was off the hip.
Kapow!
Bam. Yeah, so yeah, you know, you don't want to be at war with yourself and next thing you know, war with everybody else and it comes destruction. So as long as you at peace with yourself, you're gonna be able to build. You're gonna be able to build in a positive manner, and then you're able to see the police officers. And now since I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I always tell people that I'd be like, I'm a square now, man. What do you mean? I say, man, I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a problem with me, I might dial 911 on you. Stop playing. I'm not going to get a gun anymore, man. And just try to go ham sandwich, you know. Nah, we got people to help out. Cause I ain't running from the police anymore. I don't got to worry about warrants and all this other crap. So yeah.
So much freedom.
Yeah, so much freedom.
Man.
You know, you can just live your life and you got a vision now of, you know what, I could actually get old and live to be old. I'm not gonna die young.
I want to be like 100.
Yeah, you know
I want to be one of them, unless I'm like completely out of my mind.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I don't even know where, even so, if I don't know where I'm at, as long as somebody's taking care of me, whatever. But I want to be one of them spunky 95-year-old
moving
women.
around.
Yes.
Moving around, moving a group.
I met somebody yesterday that has a 95-year-old grandmother that still chops wood all the time for her house and stocks it, brings it in, tends a garden, works the farm. She got some animals. 95 years old.
What?
I want to be her.
No, facts.
I want to be her. I want to live as long as I possibly can.
That's a good thing right there. You know what? That's a good goal because that's how I be looking. I'm like, man, you know what, man? I want to live to be old, and part of that is taking care of yourself. And like you said, she was moving. She's moving around. She's chopping wood. She's doing stuff. You got to stay mobile. You got to stay movement, exercise, diet. Like you said, you be hitting the gym. I like to hit the gym. The gym is the thing. I love going. Like you said, man, start loving the gym because when you start loving yourself, you're going to love these outdoor activities. I just started getting into hiking too because like I never did hiking down there. Then all of a sudden I'm up here and it gets cold. It gets real cold up here compared to Orlando. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. I can't be going outside like this here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, so I got a few month period to be able to go out and have fun. I'm gonna start going hiking. So I started going hiking, trying to find out like Tioga Falls and Sauna Springs I went to.
Burnham Forest.
Yeah, I went to Burnham Forest. So now I'm like, okay, so they got a nice, you know, Kentucky got some of the most beautiful land I've seen.
Tons of hiking. Tons
Of
waterfalls.
it. Yeah, beautiful. Man, this is a beautiful state. Y'all have a beautiful state. If you're from Kentucky, you got a beautiful state. Be happy. The cold, I still trying to get, I don't know if I ever get used to that, but I mean, it's beautiful from what as I can see. So definitely, it's a great thing to hear that you've improved your life in such a great way and be able to become out of peace with yourself. You love what you're doing. You have plans for the future of growing old. And that's a beautiful thing. You and your husband having a great relationship, great and understanding thing. And these are the type of things, people, that we want you to know that you could have in your life. If you don't have that already, or if you are married, or if you do have great friends or whatever, you just don't have direction, you just seem stunned where you're at. Start thinking, start praying and ask, okay, why are you here? Why are you still alive? What's your purpose? What else can you do while you're still living and breathing to be able to...
And it's okay if you don't know your purpose.
Yeah.
Like, you know your purpose when you're supposed to know your purpose.
Yeah.
And people kind of wander through life aimlessly looking for that. And I get it, but also at the same time, don't get frustrated when you don't know it yet. Yeah. Because God's going to reveal it.
Yeah, he's going to reveal it. He's going to reveal it at I call it his divine timing. You know, while you living life, as us as human beings, until that punch out day comes, I believe that we're still here for a reason. And that light inside of you is meant to just give out to people. But if you got darkness that's just keeping you down, try to get rid of that first, and then you have a clear vision. And then, like you said, your purpose will come. But if you're in the darkness right now, you're really just lost.
Yeah.
You don't even have no idea what you know what I'm saying? You're just falling. And I think it's important just to get to the point where you're not falling. Because then when you stop falling, you know what I'm saying, you're able to actually stand.
Yeah.
So you know,
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
I appreciate you coming on. It's been a great episode. Thank you so much for coming on again, Lindsay.
You're welcome.
We hope to have you on again. And is there any last words you'd like to tell the people before you go?
Just don't give up. Whatever you're going through. Before I got sober this last time, the whole year of 2018, really until October when I got sober, I had completely given up. You know, I was at peace to some extent, as crazy as it sounds, that I was going to die with something in my arm. I mean, really, that was my end all be all. I was very suicidal, but I would have never done it myself, and I know that because I know, and not to sound cocky or what have you, but I know how important I am to people in my life, my son, my mom, my dad, my husband, my friends, you know, and I know what that would leave behind. I know the destruction and the sorrow that would leave behind, but I was looking for ways to make it happen to where it didn't look like my fault. And that is where I was at that point of time. And after I got sober and I started working on myself, that dissipated. And it wasn't very long before my prayers at night went from, please don't wake me up in the morning. You know what I have to do. Please just don't. If you're up there, don't. And then they went to, God, thank you for getting me through this day. Thank you for keeping me sober. Help me to get a good night's sleep and do it over again in the morning. And then when I wake up in the morning, before my eyes are even open, most mornings, I'm like, thank you, God, for waking me up and waking me up sober. And it isn't, really, God, I asked you not to bring me here this morning, and here we are again. Complete 180. And you could not have convinced me. You could not have paid me $1 million to believe that in 2018. So I'm a walking testimony. You are a walking testimony. I mean, the Louisville recovery community is immense. Like, I never even knew it was here until I got sober, and you guys are everywhere. I mean, the meetings, the support, the fun, the activities, the events, and just hang on, man. Just hang on just hang on. God's got you, and just don't give up. Don't give up.
Amen to that. Don't give up. Don't give up. And remember, hey, there's help out there. Contact us if you need it. I go to her all the time. Hey, who, you know, it's a great community. It really is. It's not like she said, in Louisville and even Southern Indiana and places. It's just like it's not like that in a lot of parts of the world. You know, and something great here. So if you need some help, some great help, don't wait. Don't hesitate to contact.
Yeah.
So hey, have a blessed day. We love you all. Don't give up. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.